Hello from Vilnius, Lithuania, Rotary District 1462. My name is Viktorija Trimbel, I'm District Governor and member at Rotary International Membership Committee. Our district was the only district in the Zone 18 which grew over the last several years. Today we will share with you our strategies and tips how to make it happen. Our presentation today will be both pre-recorded and live with questions answered over the Zoom platform. After we complete, everyone who registered will receive a video file by email. Thanks to pandemic, I am joined today by Gabija and Kamilė, as well as Mingaile, who will share their personal stories how they came to Rotary.
Hello, my name is Gabija Trimbel, and I'm a member of Vilnius International Rotaract Club and project manager for our club's project called The First School Bag. I joined Rotary activities while I was still in middle school by volunteering in different Rotary projects, like bringing equipment to a vocational school for blind or poor-sighted, helping out at a world-famous duck race, or being one of the camp counselors for 10 summers in a row at a charity camp for kids from orphanages and socially disadvantaged families. In 2009, I founded the first Interact Club in our country, district, and neighboring countries. And I'm happy that there are already 16 Interact clubs in our district and new ones are being established by local Rotarians. I also became the first Lithuanian Rotary long-term exchange student to go to Taiwan. I spent my school year 2010-11 there. Afterwards, I went to a few Rotary summer camps abroad. Having served twice as the president of Vilnius International Interact Club, I did take a break from Rotary once I graduated high school and I was about to start my university studies. There I did join a student association to help out the community, and later on my Rotary experience had helped me a lot by opening many doors while traveling and studying in my university exchanges in Chicago and Singapore. Now I'm a founding member of Vilnius International Rotaract Club, and this is my mother, Victoria, who's the governor for the year 2021. I do have a few reasons and benefits for joining Rotary. Firstly, I was encouraged by my mother to broaden my horizons to meet new people. Secondly, I enjoy the global access that Rotary provides, and I was able to make friends from all over the world, as well as meet interesting people as speakers in Rotary clubs or other Rotary events. Thirdly, it brings me joy and fulfillment to see the spark of happiness in kids' eyes, either they're participating in the summer camp or receiving the first school bag. So to summarize, bring your own family to Rotary. That is the easiest strategy and tip to grow Rotary membership.
Hello, my name is Kamilė Trimbel and I am a past president of Vilnius International Interact Club. Currently, I'm helping my mother as the district governor as her personal assistant. I joined Rotary following my sister by volunteering as a co-leader in a Rotary summer camp while I was just 12 years old. It's funny to remember the kids that were 6 to 12 years old themselves trying to guess my age because they already thought I was 20. One of the main things that Rotary gave to me was the trust, encouragement, and inspiration. They trusted me from a young age to take care of the kids with 2 other team leaders. This gave me many opportunities to grow personally and gain experience. And in just a few years, I became my own independent team lead of the group. I also participated in 4 summer and winter Rotary camps through Rotary Youth Exchange and also volunteered at the team district to help with their website and social media marketing. This has brought me many new friends from around the world, which I've had the chance to visit a few times and even hosted at my own home. I also joined an Interact Club myself and brought a few of my own friends to it, and this is a very important tip I would like to share with you about supporting Interact Clubs and making sure that they continue to operate and facilitate the Rotary discovery. The big challenge Interact faces, especially if they're community-based, not school-based, is to ensure continuity. While Interact accepts members 12 to 18 years old, a majority of Lithuanian Interactors join while studying at gymnasium for an average of 2 to 3 years, and then often move to other cities or countries to study at a university. I myself went to the UK right after gymnasium to study at the University of the Arts in London, but I continued to volunteer at Lithuanian Rotary activities online. It is especially important to invite different graders to the Interact Club because when some graduate the school and the Interact clubs, others may continue. I strongly recommend the sponsoring Rotary clubs to keep in close contact with their interactors and invite them to volunteer at your public service projects, and also teach them about organizational leadership skills, how to lead, how to manage teams and NGOs. Now I have graduated university and I'm back home in Lithuania, and in just a few days will start working as a startup community manager. I'm confident that my Rotary networking skills will help me in this job, and I encourage other Rotarians to stay in close contact with interactors and especially their program alumni, as these people know Rotary the best and they're a great source to grow Rotary membership.
Very much. So good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, good evening for the rest of the world. And I'm very happy today to share. So thank you very much, Gabija and Kamilė, for sharing your own experiences. And I will try to summarize how we do in Lithuania as Interact, Rotaract, and how we join Rotary. So my first question actually would be for all of you: have you ever thought that how many Interact and Rotaract clubs do we have in the world? And if we sum up these numbers, the numbers of the clubs of young people, it's almost the same amount of numbers as the Rotary clubs in the world. If we add up the same members amount, it's all more than half of the size of Rotary community. So did you ever think such a big pool we have next to us for future Rotarians who starting their career as a Rotarian from very young days and collecting all this experience, as just Kamilė and Gabija shared from their hearts. So as we know that you can start a career very young, and then I see these pictures, I don't see kids. I see the best kids in their high school. I see the champions of the toughest competitions. I see kids that we speak 3 or more languages, and the kids of future of a Rotary society. And in Lithuania, we have 15 clubs of Interact that are at the age from 12 to 18 years old and consist around 200 members. At the same time, the most important what we do, we organize projects, and projects with very important topics. For example, conversation or discussion about suicide. And the most important that they invite their age group people and they discuss in the same language so we can understand each other and we can share their own experiences. So how did we create this active community for young kids? So the first thing what happened in Lithuanian Rotary clubs, with these clubs we had not on the paper, but we really had this as a goal to set up these small clubs of interactors. And of course we started to invite their kids, children, grandchildren, their friends' kids. And so this was the first step how we gathered this community. And of course, the most important was support, because Rotary clubs are very supportive for youth in our district. Later on, when our interactors we go to study to other cities, or we go around the world, we can join Rotaract, as Kamilė just shared when she went to London for her studies. When I see this picture, I don't see like just students here, because Rotaractors are not students anymore mostly. I see the best professionals of the field. I see parents, leaders, doctors, and other professionals that are in the top of their age group. And in Lithuania, mostly of the Rotary clubs, which we have 11 at this moment, we have only one university base. The average age is between 25 and 30 years old. We have more than 200 members that altogether they do per year more than 30 projects and gather more than 50,000 euros for their projects. And of course, the most important factor, how did our Rotaract became so successful, is because of the Rotarian support. Rotarians see us not only as students, but Rotarians see these young people as professionals and as future partners. And of course, we have very strong mentorship program that I am one of the examples how you can join Rotary family and how you can become a active Rotary member. Because in Lithuania, Interact, Rotaract and Rotary, we do projects together very closely. Interactors, Rotaractors, we invited to be part of the BETS. We have a joint meetings together. For example, this is the picture of our current president. So Interactors, Rotaractors have been invited by Rotary Club to join the speaker. We have joint meetings, like regular meetings together. And we do even our club inauguration. For example, the club that Vilnius International Club that has Interact, Rotaract, and Rotary Club. So inauguration is happening together. Lithuanian Rotaractors even organized REM. As you all know, this is a Rotaract European meeting that was really highly supported by Rotary organization. And of course, we have even family weekends together and gather all this young age together. And the proof what is happening when our Rotary members, they invite and they are so open and so warm for Interactors and Rotaractors. Here's the best proof. Because in Lithuania, since 2006, it was 19 new clubs established. And 9, almost half of the clubs, of the new clubs that was created in the district have been initiated by Rotaractors. So the core of the initiators of the new clubs was these young people that grew up from their young days as an Interactors, spent a lot of time and heart and have been welcomed as a Rotaractors, and finally they became Rotary members. And we have many examples that now these clubs that have been initiated 10 years, 15 years ago, they are leading Rotary clubs that have the average age of 40, 45 years old, and they are the flagmen of our district. So shortly, the experience of our district is to include young people, include young professionals as a Rotaractors, and invite them openly to Rotary organization, because this proves, the statistics proves that Rotaractors are perfect initiators to grow our Rotary district and to grow our society.
Thank you, girls, for sharing your story. Now let me share mine, and let's get back to those questions: why, whom, and how. The picture what you see on the screen is the picture of my first Rotary club. When I joined it, I was only 30 years old, and at that time I didn't even question myself, am I allowed to be a Rotarian of that age? I simply joined it, and I was recommended by the acquaintance. The Rotary Club, which I joined, was the first international, which means English-speaking Rotary club. At that time, I was still very early in my professional career. I was already co-founder and past president of Financial Analysts Association, so voluntary activities in general were close to my heart. Rotary attracted my interest, first of all, by offering international networking opportunity, and in my hometown and globally. I have been very active Rotarian, and as you might guess, its activities and projects have attracted me naturally. I have been driven from inside out, and recently, having co-founded another English-speaking Rotary club, Lithuania International, and becoming the governor for this year of our district, I was asked by many people, so what is Rotary and why should I join it? This helped me to crystallize my personal answer, which I would like to share with you. Today, there are some estimates that there are over 40,000 NGOs and other similar organizations for any potential member to choose from, and that vary from churches and local communities, animal shelters, food banks, some cause-specific organizations, professional associations, and other institutions. As a person who would like to contribute to the community, you have very many options to choose from. When you start your professional road, I believe your natural preference could be a professional body like associations of financial analysts, lawyers, doctors, or any other professions, where you meet your fellows, where you deepen your specialized skills and build professional networks. Next, when you become responsible for business development, being a manager entrepreneur, your preference might be to go for chambers of trade and commerce, for organizations like Business Network International and similar. All these organizations often also do some community service and charity work. So why should we join Rotary? I would claim that Rotary is for those who see beyond their immediate nose or horizon and who act and care beyond their personal egos. I would also say, this is my very recent discovery, also personal discovery, that Rotary gives us 3D experience. Rotary is about discovery, delivery, and diversity. This is the core essence of our organization, how its membership is composed, how it is being run and led every year, through rotation. From the very beginning, Rotary aimed to connect people from different walks of life. Also, every year leadership changes, so everyone has an opportunity to show his leadership. So again, what is really Rotary? Is it the 4-way test? Is it the 5 avenues of service? Is it the 7 areas of focus which we just added? And I believe that less is more. And that's why I truly like the current theme of Rotary International with the 3 doors, because prior to the 3 doors started to be open for Rotary, brought in by the current president, Holger Nack, I was myself telling my acquaintances that Rotary stands on 3 pillars. It's a fellowship, expanding horizons, and making meaningful projects together. Fellowship, by that I mean that we make human connections and build new friendships in the club. New member approval processes with Zeta system in place secures pleasant and inspiring life in the club while seeking to attract members from different areas of activity and backgrounds. And this creates diversity and discovery opportunities. The next pillar, expanding horizons, comes from fellowship, member talks, and guest speakers in the club that enable each member to learn new things, to expand the understanding of the world, to gain and practice new skills. I always tell that being a Rotarian is the best leadership training environment. You learn how to lead people who are not your subordinates, whom you can only motivate and inspire by a shared vision, not bonuses, salary, or corporate career, and that makes you a better leader at work. And the third pillar, which I always share with potential members, is meaningful projects. And I do emphasize word meaningful here. There is an old Chinese proverb, teach a man how to fish instead of giving a fish. If we want to build a lasting change, we must create an impact. We must enable recipients of our project efforts to build their own lives by providing them with tools and skills. Yes, sometimes a straightforward support and supply of necessities is needed for people in a desperate need. However, we must be very careful to enable them instead of creating an entitled dependency. And this is, 3D experience and 3 pillars of Rotary is something what I always tell when I try to approach new member. But having answered the external question, why to join Rotary, we should not miss the internal question, why we need more members. And we must answer this question internally in our clubs, in our districts, otherwise all of our strategies, tips, and efforts to grow membership will not work. And this question is quite often being asked in our own clubs in Lithuania. It's a very important and often overlooked question, especially in the clubs that are already several years old. As the club ages, members become more and more comfortable with each other, with the club's way of doing things and projects, and every newcomer might be even seen as a threat to a certain status quo and traditions, even if the club declares it wants to grow. So the new blood in the club might become a new meat for those who stay there hungry. Why we need to grow? Why we need more members? We need to grow to remain relevant in the world. Otherwise, we risk to literally die out and become extinct, as once happened to the dinosaurs. If we fail to attract new members, we fail to demonstrate that our efforts and activities are worthwhile, and we will become increasingly difficult to raise funds for our good deeds. More heads are smarter than one. More hands can lift a bigger load, move mountains, and change the world. We can learn here from the bees and from the ants, very little insects who do demonstrate probably the best teamwork in the world. when Rotary International membership numbers dropped in 2018, it became very obvious that actions are to be taken. Hence, Rotary International presidents and leaders have started to place the main emphasis on membership growth. And as we know, the efforts already have turned the trend. So after we answered the both external and internal questions, why we need to grow Rotary, let's look for whom the Rotary is. And you have probably seen the survey results. It was an international survey made, and people were asked, do they know Rotary? So the good news is that 74% of them, they did know Rotary, but only 35 thought that Rotary is an organization for people like them, and only 25 knew someone who could invite them to Rotary. Of course, you can find a lot of useful materials on membership development on our website, Rotary.org. But today I would like to emphasize few potential sources of new members that worked best for our district and what enabled us to live in our zone for many years. I would also like to say that in my opinion, our society has a misled perception what Rotary is. It is still very often associated with an old man club, isolated from the surrounding community, engaged in their private matters and discussions at fine dining restaurants, and maybe sometimes giving out some charity donations. So people would think it's not for me, it's for them, those few well-established, wealthy and retired, or at least having the large teams and private or corporate resources at their disposal to implement their ideas. Is it? If we look into the surveys, who is the most likely to volunteer? That would be busy professionals with small kids, aged 24 to 45 years old, and women. Moreover, these are all busy people. On average, each of them have only 5 hours of free time, and thus has to be spread among different activities. So when we try to attract new members, we are not competing with lions or kiwanis. We are competing with time to make friends, to exercise, to watch TV or internet. And here we need to make our priorities right. You cannot pour from an empty camp. So I strongly believe that Rotary shall not come at the expense of your family or business or profession. If you put Rotary first, it's quite likely that you are escaping something, unless you have very specific individual circumstances or are already retired, empty nested, single, orphan, or something else. Family and your vocation shall come before or together with Rotary. As Gabija and Kamilė and Mingaile shared, we did use a lot of opportunities to involve our family members to create Interact clubs, Rotaract clubs, and by that we did grow Rotary. So in summary, the best sources where to find new members, first of all, is your family. Involve them in activity. Offer family membership, sponsor Interact club, Rotaract club, or even Inner Wheel club. Although in these days, I would not be a strong proponent of Inner Wheel because women are already accepted to Rotary. And if you look into the family, this is the closest circle of the community. And when we call each other sisters and brothers of Rotary, so let's make sure that our way of experiencing Rotary has the room for family of our members. Bring them to the club meetings, invite them to participate in club projects, offer family memberships, consider timing and format of club meetings so that we could accommodate professionals with young children, sponsor Rotaractors, Interact or Rotaract. Our own club has a rule. Family members are always welcome at the club meetings. And it is for the member to decide if a particular topic or activity will be interesting for his or her family members. Also, we expect members to arrange entertainment for smaller kids, but as a rule of thumb, we want our members to enjoy Rotary experience without having to choose Rotary or family. Also, we are getting back again to not having your cup empty, to have it filled. You need to pay sufficient time and effort to your primary vocation, business, or profession. And in order to help others, you need to have resources available, be it money, time, or unique skill set to inspire. Many people who do not join Rotary or NGO claim that you must build wealth first before sharing, otherwise you are doing more harm than benefit to the society. Yet, I think that Rotary can complement your profession through networking and learning opportunities, not just distract your focus from your business. As Mingaile told, Rotaract was one of the main drivers of Rotary growth in Lithuania, and we have many years of traditions of close cooperation with Rotaractors. Many of the steps that Rotary International have recently introduced worldwide regarding involvement of Rotaract, we have been doing for years already, from sponsoring the activities, creating a district-wide organization like a district structure for Rotaractors, to offering Rotary membership below 30 years old. In my previous club, at one point of time, we have membership age spanning from 23 to 82 years old. This was truly a very diversified club. Of course, it brings its own benefits and its own challenges to arrange activities that are interesting to all. With the policy update and membership data on Rotary.org, we will be able to connect with Rotaract even better because we will have common databases. And I believe now it's time to take similar steps with Interact and Inner Wheel clubs. Of course, there are some legal challenges through Interact in particular, as all countries have many very specific regulations regarding keeping, accessing, and processing data of underage minors. It might be very complicated to design a global solution, and as you know, Rotary.org doesn't keep private data of interactors, but I strongly encourage districts to design their own ways how to identify and keep contacts with interactors, especially as they graduate from schools and leave. I believe that we should be able to do that with proper personal data protection rules in place and parents' consents when the kids are still at a young age. And many digital tools are available to help with this process. In many smaller towns and communities without college or university campuses, having a Rotaract club is a challenge, but Interact is possible in every little town where there are kids around. And former Interactors are some of the best potential Rotary members later in their lives, so we should keep a relationship and be welcoming when they are ready to consider Rotary membership. So 2 simple tips here: invite them to various social functions and projects by Rotary clubs, encourage following on social media accounts, and keep them on the mailing list of your newsletters, but not the ones that we prepare for our club members and circulate very frequently, but more of a semi-annual or annual type, more like an annual report, just to keep them informed, but not spammed by Rotary news. And similar tips would apply to try to connect to inner wheels. While I personally have a far-reaching idea to suggest Lithuanian inner wheels to turn into Rotary during my year as a governor, at the same time I understand and acknowledge that some ladies are happy and fulfilled in their roles as partners and spouses to Rotarians. Yet I also encourage that we shall keep a system to keep contacts and relations with them. And Rotary.org website doesn't offer this option. Inner wheel members are not considered directly Rotary members, but they are very much familiar of our activities, and very often they contribute a lot to the projects. I was personally surprised to learn when I invited Inner Wheels at our changeover ceremony on July 1st, that this was one of the very rare occasions when they received an invitation from the district, as if they live in some parallel universe. So we shall keep in touch with them, and we shall bring them together closer to Rotary. The third major source of potential new members are our program participants and project partners. Rotary offers a lot of different programs, especially for youth, from youth exchange, new generation service exchange, RILA, to various scholarships. Each of the projects we make connects us to other community partners, volunteers, and sponsors. Even the recipients of the benefits provided by our actions and efforts, if they are successful, will help those people to create their own personal successes in life, and they might become a truly devoted member of Rotary International. Our alumni and sponsors are the best source of potential membership. They know and like Rotary already. So you should ask yourself, have you appointed an alumni chair in your district? Do you maintain a contact list and a regular contact with your program participants and beneficiaries? Have you suggested your project sponsors to join Rotary as members instead of merely thanking them? And you will find these and more questions to facilitate your membership growth efforts through the download link at the end of this presentation. And just to tell you that this is not the theory what I'm speaking about, I would like to share that the newest club in our district, the second club which we co-founded with Mingaile, at the time of the chartering, it had 41.7% members as alumni of other Rotary programs, primarily Youth Exchange and Rotary Academy, that's a mentoring program for professionals, and 33% of them had other Rotary or Rotaract experience. So now let's go to the final part of our talk, how to actually attract those members. We already briefly touched where to find them and that we should keep a contact and extend our invitation to join, but there are some more practical tips. First of all, clearly define and communicate your club's identity, who you are, what you stand for, how you are different from others. And it's not enough here to tell just the general Rotary things, because every club is different. And try to be as specific as you can in addition to general Rotary features. And this is especially important in larger cities where a member can choose from the few clubs. So now let's go to the final part of our talk, how to actually attract those members. We already briefly touched where to find them and that we should keep a contact and extend our invitation to join, but there are some more practical tips. First of all, clearly define and communicate your club's identity, who you are, what you stand for, how you are different from others. And it's not enough here to tell just the general Rotary things, because every club is different. And try to be as specific as you can in addition to general Rotary features. And this is especially important in larger cities where a member can choose from the few clubs. Next, even when we say that Rotary is for those aiming further than their own nose and ego, who shall not be asking question, what's in it for me? We should be able to articulate our value proposition to the members. Those 3 doors of Rotary experience, which I just spoke about, or a full 3D Rotary experience of diversity, discovery, and delivery. And I would encourage you to aim to have a club where people come not because of some attendance rules, but because they want to. Make Rotary a fulfilling and fun experience, not another job, duty, or chores. We have plenty of those in our lives. And here I would like to emphasize the word of voluntary service. This is what we do in our club. There is no word must, except for paying the membership dues, and we do not actually track attendance, but we aim to track our impact, funds, and time invested. All of our activities are driven by the inner wish or want of a member. For every idea to become a project, we expect at least 3 members to say, I am driven by this, I want and I choose by my free will to contribute my time and effort to make it happen. Then, promote and inspire. In some cultures, even in our own Lithuanian culture, it is considered a bad taste to share openly about the good deeds, what you are making. It's being considered even a shameful or disgraceful action. A popular verb says, good deeds love silence and privacy, and a common perception considers that good product or service doesn't need advertising. In other cultures, Asia and Buddhism in particular, Helping others is a natural part of the daily life of every person, and that requires no excess wealth or social status. United States has also very well-established philanthropy traditions driven by the American dream of self-made person and the relatively low public sector. So the community has offered the freedom of an opportunity to make your own success before a person feels a gratitude for such environment and wants to give back. But if we will not speak ourselves about Rotary, someone else might do that, and not necessarily in a way what we would like to. When we speak about Rotary activities, it's important that we don't simply please our own egos and show, how good we are. But we would like to inspire others and show the example that it's possible and how fulfilling it is. We would like to make a potential member to feel that Rotary is for someone. In Lithuania, we have several and unique initiatives to make Rotary visible and attractive. The largest event is Rotariada. This is annual sports games for Rotary community with more than 1,000 people attending. It has a big parade through the city and a very competitive sports action. Then we have traditional Rotary cinema and Rotary Dusges, or after party, which is open to the general public. When you buy a ticket, all the funds go to the projects, but you can watch movies or listen to the popular bands. Some clubs have started social media series picturing their own members with the motto, "I'm Rotarian, this is my personal story," so that their friends and acquaintances could start asking questions, and this is what they did. What is Rotary? What you are doing? I would like to join too. Next, I would like to suggest Rotary to combine efforts and make a greater impact and reach instead of have some internal competition, especially for members in larger cities. We do have separate clubs, but we also are a part of a global organization. So if you're trying to headhunt a member, but he or she is not really willing to choose your club, be a generous Rotarian and recommend that person to some other club, because even as simple things as the timing of the meetings could be more convenient to him. And last but not the least, make the membership process clear and easy to follow. Also remember that you need only 8 members to officially start a satellite club, which is both separate from the main club, and at the same time you could compare that as your adult children living in house with their own private lives, or a subsidiary of the company. So for example, if your club majority are elderly persons and you would like to attract younger persons, instead of adding 1 or 2 to your club where they might find some challenges to get involved, you could suggest and have a satellite club next to it. And most importantly, retain those who've been your members already. So if your member is leaving, celebrate that, celebrate experience together and keep contacts. Quite often those people would return as members back to Rotary. It is also important to understand what truly drives a person, because not everybody will tell. For some, it's internal drive to make good things. For some, it's prestige. For some, it's discovery. For some, it's opportunity to lead. So try to identify what truly drives them and assign the roles according to that. So I see a question from District Governor nominee Krishna Kumar. How do you manage to get Rotaractors to join Rotary after leaving Rotaract? And I would suggest Mingaile to answer, as she has her own very personal experience.
Thank you very much. So as I see that it's District Governor nominee, so the first advice or the first step would be, did you already choose your future team? And the advice would be to include a Rotaractor in one of the committee's activities. So for example, my own experiences, that I was the member of Rotaract committee in our district. And once I became a Rotarian, thank you very much for Governor that invited me to join and take the lead of this committee. By being me, a recent Rotaractor, it helps me so much to click and communicate much faster with these young people and send a message to Rotary, or from Rotary to send a message to Rotaract, and be the bridge. Since I still know everyone, like mostly every Rotaractor. The second advice would be, as a Rotaract committee, to contact these people that are already planning to leave. Personally, I'm asking almost every Rotaractor, what is the plan? What is he planning to do? Is he planning to join Rotary or just take a gap year? And I find out that there are so much people, Rotaractors, that they would like to join, but they have been not invited, or they don't know, or they just lack of information about clubs. So just providing this information about Rotary clubs really helps to invite them and to make them not to take a gap year or to leave the organization, but to join them Rotary. And the third step that really I believe it has a future, to encourage Rotary clubs, if there is, like, for example, much older age Rotary members and they don't want to accept these young people, this is also possible, to encourage them to establish satellite club which can consist of especially Rotaractors, and by having the satellite club, help them to grow and to establish their own Rotary club. And I think that supervision, being a godfather, would really help these people to hold in the organization and to grow them as a Rotary members. And since I see that there is one more question from Vygintas Grinis, what is the vision of Rotary? So especially this, my vision would be by that every Rotary club, as now they have projects or we have other duties, would have a duty or would have a project to set up a satellite club to invite these new members. And that would be seen not as a competition, as Victoria just said, that members will be redirected to other club, we will not join our club, but that it would become so natural by Rotarians, by Rotary clubs, to have a satellite club next to their club, that people would just write emails for us and we would have to choose and to whom to reply and to whom to provide more information about Rotary, and not to talk between us how to attract these members, but members would flood us as an organization. So having a satellite club next to each Rotary club would be my vision of Rotary.
Thank you, Mingaile. And we do have some questions in our question and answer part of the Zoom webinar, and also in the chat with the participants. So there are also some questions who ask if those presentations will be available. So just to answer once again, we will make them available through Rotary International setup. We will also email them to everyone who registered for the seminar, and we will make them publicly available on the website of our club. So we will share the contacts by email, and we will share the presentations, and also those first presentations who had some sound issues. So you will be able to listen to them and enjoy, to stop, the presentation at any point that you would like to get more involved. I would like to thank everyone who is also sharing their own definitions of a quality member, because this is very important. And when we are able to define what a quality member means to us, or overall what we mean as a club, it becomes much more easier for us to attract new members. Because again, I will repeat, on one hand, we want to join Rotary those people for whom it's not the first question, what's in it for me? But at the same time, we should answer them why they should join us. So as we spoke about involvement, Rotary, it's not that, I need, someone to do my Rotary things, but I'm truly grateful for my daughters that they help me. And I remember when I was still a very young Rotarian, my fellow members were telling that my little kids were waiting for me in the lobby for the Rotary meeting to end. So one of the drivers for me, why I believe it's important to involve your family into Rotary. It's for them to be together with you, not to sit in a separate room, because that enriches your own experience and that enriches a lot your family. So this is a very brief summary slide, and we will also provide you a more detailed checklist, because even this summary is a summary. So let me see what other comments we are having. Thank you guys for all the kind words that you are telling to us. We were very happy and honored to share with you, and we would like to wish all of you a very happy Rotary year, full of opportunities. And as Rotary International has a new strategy which encourages everyone to innovate and find the new ways to make membership enjoyable. So this is our main tip for you. Innovate. Don't even ask for permission. Try and test what works for your particular clubs, for your particular communities, and for your particular societies. So our time, I believe, is up. It's 1 hour. We, as promised, will be happy to send you the slides and presentations to enjoy at the convenience of your time and to share with your fellow members and maybe with potential members. So let's grow Rotary together, and we hope to see you in some international Rotary events. Come visit us, Lithuania. You are always. Bye.